Hey Taurus, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength and storyline on this reading, which happens from time to time, it's just general readings here. So if I do catch your storyline, check me out over on Vimeo. There'll be an extended, the directions or the link is in the description box. If I don't catch your wavelength, you're welcome to check your other major signs. Sun, moon, rising, possibly Venus. I usually check my rising just when I find a reader that I really connect with. So we're starting up with a traditional tarot spread, and then over on Vimeo we'll have the, we'll put some more meat on the bones, so to speak, with the oracle cards. So cutting the deck now. Fascinating. For the reading, Three of Wands, having faith in your future, having faith in your dreams, a vision that you had, having faith that something that you've been looking for is coming in. It's coming in for you. So you see something coming in on the horizon. This is a unique depiction of this card because usually the person is out there and there's just nothing. They don't see anything. There's not anything that they're actually seeing. It's just an act of faith. It's like saying, thank you for the meal I'm about to receive, even though there's no food in front of you and you don't know where your next meal is coming from. So that to me is true faith, and I really love that idea. But this is faith when you're sitting down in front of the meal and you're being grateful because you knew it was coming, you smelled it for 3 hours, and now it's here and you're grateful for it. And you're happy that it's finally on the table and your saliva can be put to good use. So Three of Wands, faith in something that's coming in. You can see it now. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Well, dear Taurus. There's some issues. We're in the throes of a little bit of a problem, but there's also some really good stuff going on here. There is a need for having faith, but I think it's going to be well rewarded. That's where this reading's going anyway. So in your recent past, Queen of Coins, this could be you. This could be somebody you know. This is someone who's very focused on, they're very goal-oriented. They're focused on their career. They're focused on the queens, male or female, focused on their inner landscape, their inner universe, and their personal life experience. Queen of Coins is going to be focused on expenditures of time and money and how that money's made. So Queen of Coins is typically someone who's very focused on their own career and their next steps in their own career and where they want to go from here and how to accomplish and achieve what they're envisioning and what they're seeing. So they see this ship coming in long before it comes in. So they're out here like this and they're thinking about, how do I get that ship to come in? What do I think about that ship? How do I get it to come in? How do I maneuver myself? How do I plan? How do I strategize? Strategizing for the next steps and for leveling up. Current situation is a little bit interesting. We have the Devil card. So the Devil card, just very generally, is about things that are easy to get into and difficult to get out of. So this can be contracts, marriages, addictions, obsessions. There's something very alluring that wants to bring us into it. It's an alluring thing that's drawing us to it. But once we get there, it's a lot more difficult to pull out of it and to remove yourself. It can be very tricky to remove yourself. It's almost like sometimes there can be a deal with the devil made where, we get something that we want, but then when that price comes due, it can be a little steep and it can be a little difficult to deal with. So there could be addiction issues, obsession issues, maybe a contract issue where you're trying to get out of a contract, an obligation, right? You said yes, you'd go out and now you don't want to, but if you don't, you're going to hurt people's feelings and possibly mess up something really good. So it's the making plans when you feel good and then you don't want to go anymore, but oops, you definitely RSVP'd to a 200-person per plate wedding and you're not going to be able to weasel out of that very easily. So you like how my shirt matches my cup. I thought that was fun. So so this is devil energy, something that's benevolent, that's like marred your freedom. You don't have full freedom right now. You have obligations. That's basically what you have, obligations either to an addiction that you started, or you have, or maybe someone else's addiction is affecting you. But somebody here has an obligation and they can't get out of it, at least not very easily. They have to do something. They're compelled to do something. It's not really freedom of choice. They're not really able to move wherever they want. It's just, and we all have these things in our life where we're compelled to do them. We have to go to work. If we would like to keep a roof over our head, it helps. So we have to do these things. We're compelled to do something. And but this is highlighted here, right? We all have these aspects of our lives. We all have some sort of little addiction. Some are big addictions that really throw our whole lives and everyone around us into chaos. Some of them are little addictions, coping mechanisms that maybe aren't the best, but also aren't the worst. And it can range from, big contracts to small contracts to some kind of obligation that you have that you can't get out of. And it's highlighted here. What you're thinking about, you're thinking about fighting back. Thinking about trying to get out of this obligation or get out of this contract. Thinking about standing your ground. And do you have a right? This is like he's got the high ground here. And he's going to defend it. So you might be feeling defensive, maybe thinking about defending something, defending yourself. We have these these attackers, or these questioners, or these interrogators, or these doubters, and they're questioning you. And you're thinking about that. You might be worried about being questioned, being attacked. You might be also wondering if you do have a right, if you do have the high ground here, if you do have some sort of moral, do you have something to stand on here? Can you fight back? Should you fight back? Should you defend yourself, or should you let someone else take the lead here? And you might be worried about this, worried about something coming up where you might need to defend yourself, or worried about worried about having to defend yourself. And especially if we're dealing with this devil here, with this contract or some sort of obligation, if you want to get out of it, you're going to have to defend yourself. If it's an addiction, you might be thinking about how you're going to justify it. How do you justify this behavior? How do you justify this situation? Wanting to justify some sort of decision that you've made. It was easy to get into, right? It happened so easily. It's not my fault. It went really well. It was really good. And so then you're thinking like, well, how would I explain this to other people? How could anybody even understand this? So you're thinking about just defending yourself and what that would look like and what that would feel like. And if you have a right to defend yourself, is there any ground you can stand on to defend yourself? I doubt anyone's looking forward to this moment, but you could be. You could be like, people, I can't wait to clear my name out of this gossip, or I can't wait to, you could be looking forward to it. But I would guess most people don't really enjoy being in the hot seat or being interrogated or having to defend themselves. Some people could be excited. They could be excited for an opportunity to defend themselves, an opportunity to say what their perspective was on something, right? So other people may see you as unable to control yourself, unable to be free. Like that's basically the devil, is unable to control yourself either through addiction or through obligation. So, and then you're maybe looking for an opportunity or thinking about how would you explain this, or how would you explain this to someone that doesn't understand, or in denial, or refusing to listen to other people. What's the issue here? Knight of Swords in reverse. So this could go two ways. Knights are communication and swords are communication. So this could be somebody keeping something secret, someone not communicating, or else it could be really blunt communication, or not blunt, because swords is like cuts through the BS. This is like a blunt knife. This is like not really precise communication. Something went wrong, very awry with communication here. Something's wrong with the communication. It's either scattered, unclear, unfocused, pointless, random, useless, incomplete. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. Or a complete lack of communication. So you've been completely cut off, or someone's just simply not talking about anything. You're like all ready to defend yourself, but basically someone's just not talking or cutting off all communication or something like that. We're not dealing with something directly, for sure. And there's inexpert communication. If there is any communication, it's not being done well. It's not being done specifically. They don't even know what they're trying to get at, what they're trying to say. They don't know. I mean, they kind of know. They have like an idea, but they're not really able to communicate it very clearly. Inexpert communication, poorly executed for a foggy purpose. Like, we don't know why. They don't know why they're talking. They don't know what their goal is, if they are talking at all. So in this case, I'd actually prefer someone just to not talk at all than to like fumble around and not know what they're saying or not really know what they're talking about or something like that. Like, I just keep your mouth shut then. If you don't know what the goal is of the confrontation, if you don't want... This could also be someone being non-confrontational, actually. Ooh, passive-aggressive communication. That is a real possibility with this Knight of Swords. Passive-aggressive communication. Feeling something, wanting to communicate something, but not wanting to be direct about it. In your environment, you have Four of Swords, but it could be someone being shut up here and not talking at all because we have this break period. We have rest time, recuperation, recalibration. So this could be an externally imposed rest where somebody went on vacation or somebody got laid off or somebody just went away for a while or went silent for a while and didn't talk for a while. So somebody could be choosing to take a break from a situation, to take a break from you, to figure some things out, or it is your environment. It's not you that's having the break. It's someone else that's going on break, that's trying to figure something out or trying to sort of absorb what just happened. Like the story of Four of Swords is it's a guy that went to battle and made his coffin before he left so that his parents wouldn't have to. But then he survives, comes back, and what now? So he lays in the coffin, and then he has sort of a mini rebirth when he gets out. New life he has now. It's no longer focused on that, on being a warrior. It's a new life, and what are they going to do with it now? So there's a sense of having survived something, having gotten through something, and wanting to recalibrate for a new story in a different future. It's not a major arcana, so it's not like, you know, but it has hints of death, right? It's like nap time, like going to sleep. And going to sleep can be a little bit hard because it is, it can relate a little bit. It can feel like a little bit of a death when we go to sleep. The ego can take it that way. And I think that's why toddlers really don't want to, because it feels like dying, like everything, the whole reality ends, and then you wake up and everything's kind of shifted. Everything's different. The energy's different. The energy's moved. So there's a Four of Swords energy here. Nap time, sleep time, and little mini death. And then we have the Star card. You are in the right place at the right time. This is you, though. This is your to-do list, is to be in the right place at the right time, which is hard to predict. It could also be allowing a spotlight. So all these people want to question you, let them. All these people talking about you and questioning your authority or questioning your abilities or questioning your motivations, let them. Absorb that spotlight. Let them look at you. Let them see you. Let them inspect you. Allow this light to shine on you. But there's another reading of this card. This could be a blessing to somebody else. Be somebody else's spotlight. Be someone else's blessing. You, not just receiving the star, but you could be being the star for someone else, lighting someone else's path. This could be mentorship. This could be being a blessing to somebody else. So it could go either way with a to-do list. Either there's an allowing and a surrender to some sort of attention, some sort of you either allowing one of your wishes to come true, or nightmares, I don't know, allowing the attention, I think, or and this in the inspection and the looking, allowing people to see something, to look at you more closely, allowing people to admire you perhaps. But there could also be a very strong sense here of being a blessing to somebody else. But just with the Seven of Wands, that's what I'm thinking almost, is allowing people to question you, allowing the spotlight. Like this, I almost saw like an interrogation, a police investigation. Not to freak anyone out. If that's not part of your story, don't talk about it. We don't go there, right? It's a metaphor then. And this is like the little light bulb hanging down in the middle of the room, shining on you, and let them question you. Walk a mile in your shoes. They might understand. Possible outcome, Three of Cups, a celebration or possible future. It might not be an outcome of this situation, but a celebration, hanging out with friends. Maybe you're worried that all these friends are going to be hypercritical. They're going to be like questioning you and resenting you and trying to tear you down. But instead, it's this really supportive environment. There's music, there's joy, there's sharing and caring, there's joys and concerns. Everything gets shared. Everybody has a good time. Someone might get a little distracted, but there's a good time. So hanging out with friends and celebrating. So maybe the Star card is really like a lucky moment, a stroke of good luck, and all you need to do is receive it. But you could be worried about an event where you're worried people are going to be critical and criticize. But what actually happens, what could happen if you allow people to compliment you and allow people to appreciate you, to see you and all your worth. Maybe you haven't hung out with these people for a while, and so you're worried about how they're gonna respond to you, what their interaction is going to be with you, because there's been a bit of a break here. And then allow yourself to receive compliments, receive blessings, and enjoy them with your friends. Yeah, enjoying and having a good time with your friends. All right, Taurus, if that resonated with you, you can join me over on Vimeo. If that didn't, if that didn't resonate with you, why are you still watching? But if that, but if you don't want to join me over on Vimeo, this is all the information you needed. That is A-okay, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.